What's up, you bunch of dinguses? It's your boy Gungar here. Welcome back to the whiteboard. We're talking about the Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. It's finally here. I finally bought it and played it. And man, I have opinions about it. So you guys know how my typical format is. Got my handy dandy notebook full of stuff that I wrote about. Not while playing. I wrote this way after. And I'm surprised in that last video about Elden Ring, I didn't get any hate for how I bashed on Dark Souls 1, so because of that, if you guys want a Dark Souls video, I'll beat the entire game and I'll do a video about it. Get this video to 5 likes. That's your challenge. By the way, since this is a video about the DLC, naturally, it's gonna have spoilers. So if you haven't played it, go pick it up for yourself. Or if you just want spoilers, stick around if you want to, but let's hop right into it. As you guys know, typically when I talk about like a video game, I usually go over what I liked first, then what I didn't like, and then just a overview wrap up of everything that I've talked about. Also, because of Dark Souls 1, I forgot to mention this, I drew Solaire. His name's Solar instead. So first, let's talk about the new bosses. Now, I'm gonna be honest, some of the bosses I really loved, like Rolana, is that her name? Yeah, I think so. Mesmer, great bosses. Bale. So yeah, I love most of the new bosses. We're gonna touch on why I said most in a little bit. You guys probably already know what's coming up, but still, please be nice to me. Don't kill me in the comments. I'm sorry if this is bad. So anyways, next we have the new enemies. Some of them at least. Because like the reason I say some is because they did the exact same thing they did with the base game, where the catacombs are just filled with imps, and they just reskinned them as like lion-headed ones and like a cannon-headed one. Also with the bosses, I forgot to mention, I don't like the dancing lion. I'm sorry. Just compared to all the other bosses, it's just kind of lame. Also, it's just really... I don't like it, man. I don't know what it is. It's just... I don't like it. I'm sorry. Also, I really loved the areas. The new areas. My main favorite, which I'm pretty sure this is like a common thing with a lot of people that played the game, was I loved the Abyssal Woods. That's easily my favorite area. Followed by my favorite boss. The entire DLC. Because that cutscene of him just going and ripping his own head off. That was crazy. That was cool. Easily one of my favorites of the DLC. Even though it's like a pretty... I don't want to say easy, but he's like the most fair-ish out of all of them. Because like, Rolana, you have to be like pinpoint with that that double moon slam. Like you either jump it or you take full damage. And when I did it, I'm pretty sure I did her fight way too early. I got one shot. Well... almost every single time by her, which that sucked. And with Mesmer, same thing. His grab attack, I definitely did these bosses way too early. I got a one shot by his grab every single time. That was pain. So, anyways, next I have. Oh, I didn't even finish talking about the areas. I think here I've got like my favorites are. Oh, I didn't even talk about the leveling system. Or armor, or weapons. I skipped over an entire area. I love the new weapons, like the throwing, I think it's spears, hammers, and knives, I believe. Those were really cool. The martial arts also. I want to just roll up on the final boss. We're going to talk about him too. I just want to roll up on him and deck him right in the nose and just wall up on his homeboy. We'll get into that in a minute. Also, I want to say one more thing about the Abyssal Woods. As much as I can, like, I'm just gonna say the joke. As much as I'm gonna meat ride that area, I don't like how it like gassed up this enemy. It's like, yo, turn back. Torn just dips, and it's just a bunch of like knockoff Winter Lanterns from Bloodborne, just hunched over. They got like the gamer postures, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't like that. was kind of lame. I thought it'd be like some big enemy. Like, I thought it was gonna lead up to like something like kind of like how Moon Presence was at the end of Bloodborne. If you got the secret ending. Yeah, I gotta shill Bloodborne in one of these Souls games anyway. I figured it'd be something like that, but no, it was just that, and then my favorite boss. I mean, that kind of makes up for it, but I like how it forces you not to use torrent. Sure, since of how like empty the location is, it's kind of boring, but I still loved it. It's like my favorite area. Now, naturally, with the new FromSoft DLC, new NPCs are going to get added to the game that you can do side quests for. Now, I'm going to be honest, I didn't do a single one. I'm sorry. But, like, the reason I didn't was because I just wanted to explore the scenery and all the areas first. That's a bad thing, I know, for a FromSoft game. You're supposed to, like, do a bunch of stuff, but I was just like, I'm going to do it at my own pace. Then maybe later on I'll do it. But I don't know, because this DLC's hard. I might just stick to my favorite game, Bloodborne. And then we got the story. I liked the story. It was very interesting when Mikula was just trying to find a consort, or making a consort, technically, which I don't like incest. Incest's yucky. Very, very yucky. Because, like, isn't Radon... Well, like, think about it this way. Like, isn't... So, Marika and Mikula... Or, Marika and Radon... Marika and Radagon... There we go, Radagon. They're the same person. Therefore, almost every main, like, character that you meet, like, all the, like, the bosses, NPCs, kind of, like, important NPCs, they're all technically related. This is some Alabama type stuff, man. I'm not a fan. I love the story, but writers, what are you doing? Why is there so much incest? This is disgusting. YouTube, please don't take my money. I'm just pointing out a fact. Listen, I'm not for it. Sorry. So that's all the stuff I didn't, or that's all the stuff I liked. Now let's get into the stuff I didn't like. Now, we're a minute in, and I'm not sure how YouTube feels about this word, but I'm sure this next section is really gonna piss you off. I'm just gonna say it. Because my next section is gonna be very, very negative about a lot of, like, kind of minuscule things, but also kind of like, why is this in the game? Why did they make it this way? Why did they not cook with this? That's just me. I'm down to hear your guys' opinions in the comments below. Please tell me. Sorry, I missed a couple things from my what I liked sections. I loved the music. Oh my god. They did not cook with the Elden Ring score, but they cooked with the Elden Ring Erdtree DLC thing. That was awesome. That music was great. I'm sorry, based Elden Ring, but none of the music really stood out to me. Like, Godskin Nobles is good, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna have to replay through the game. Just gotta do it. By the way, my next playthrough is gonna be an edgelord build where it's just katanas that do bleed. Also, I really, really loved how there's a reason that the game is so difficult. Like, I don't remember who put it this way, but like I saw a really interesting video that was like breaking down why the DLC is so difficult, and like how there's a story reason for it. My cat's over there. I'm sorry if I keep looking over, but like basically the way they summed it up. I'm not sure who it was. I'm very sorry if you see this video, whoever you are. I doubt you will, but they basically said that you're basically a tourist. You're just going through their land. You have nothing backing you up. You have no grace backing you up. You don't have the greater will by your side to like protect you from all the damage that's just gonna pummel you, and it will pummel you. Giggity. But that's like a double-edged sword for me, honestly. I don't know if I used that correctly, I'm sorry. But, like, I like the difficulty, but then again, like, some sections just feel way imbalanced. Like, we're talking, like, Mountaintop of the Giants, there we go. We're talking that level of just difficulty spike. Like, what happened? Why did we go from, like, just kind of chilling, little difficulty, little hiccups here and there, and then just I had level 18 Shadow Tree Fragments. I'm sorry, I still don't really know how to pronounce it. I had like level 18 of that, and I was still getting slapped by everything except like the enemies. Like regular enemies weren't too bad sometimes. And it just felt like I was just getting hit really difficult or really hard at every single area I went to. We're gonna get into that later. Also about the Shadow Tree Fragments. I didn't write it down, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like cooking it up really heavily. So let's hop right in. So now we're getting into the section that's actually gonna make you guys angry, I bet. Well, you guys can get mad about me dunking on our good friend, Dark Souls 1. Remember your challenge. So, let's go ahead and hop into what I didn't like. Now let's start with the thing that I kind of alluded to just a second ago. The Shadow Tree Fragments. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep saying Skidoo Tree on accident. I've been watching Jacksepticeye's playthrough. But why did I have to fight so many hippos just to get a Skidoo Tree Fragment, then go to like the pot guys and get Skidoo Tree Fragments? That's gonna sound like really nitpicky for doing that to get those, but I didn't know that that's how you're supposed to get them. I'm gonna be honest, I looked up a guide. Don't kill me. But like that's the only way I could figure out how to get them. Cause like I'd go to the areas and I'm just like, oh, these are just the regular dudes. There's regular pot guys that are gonna like pull some out of their pot and throw some at me, you know? That's what I was thinking. And it didn't click with me to murder them. Sorry, YouTube, don't get all uppity about it. Another thing I forgot to mention about the things I like the size of the map. How we got like a full area to explore. Anyways, sorry. I didn't like how hard, speaking of the map, I didn't like how difficult it was to find the map pieces. I had to go through like 2 or 3 caves to get a map piece, and they were like far off somewhere that I would never even see. They're not even marked on the map like the normal caves are. Why? Why would you do that? So I had to like do like a Call of Duty Easter egg and like pixel hunt. Just playing. I guide. you know what we have out here at the Gungar channel. We're lazy. Anyways. Now this is the one I hear a lot. The reused enemies from the base game. Why? Why? Why are they reusing base game enemies? The Bloodborne DLC didn't do that. I'm assuming the Dark Souls DLC didn't do that. I don't know about Dark Souls 3 or 2. I don't know if they reused anything, or did Demon Souls get a DLC? Someone correct me here, whoever's editing this. But that's the problem with Elden Ring, to me. The reusal of enemies and bosses. There's even reused bosses in the DLC. And, like, you know, like the catacombs that have, like, Godwin's head in it? Or the, like, squid thing? That's Godwin, right? They reused that same look in the DLC. Why? Why are we reusing stuff for the DLC? It should be just fresh. Like, Bloodborne's DLC didn't really, you could make an argument for, like, the hunters, or not the hunters, like the just roaming around normal guys, but at least they spiced it up a little bit, and threw in, like, the blood drug hunters, the new dog design. Reminds me of the Call of Duty Ghost thing. What was it? The new executioner looks. At least they switched it up a little bit. Why are we in Elden Ring, one of the games held to the highest standard? As of now, I doubt it'll change. It's like a game. But like, it has its problems. It's not perfect, but it's great. As much as we want to hold in regard Souls games at such a high pillar, like, I'm gonna say it. What I've seen in this game, garbage. Almost all of the starting bosses for Dark Souls 1, I hate. They're all lame. Like, up to, like, I want to say Quelaag and maybe Moonlight Butterfly. Those are, like, the 2 bosses that I've seen from the game that I've actually liked. Listen, I'm not gonna hate on Dark Souls 1 this entire video. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. Going off of what I said, like with reskinning enemies, I don't like it. Like, personally, I think you should just do something fresh. Like, you always know FromSoft's gonna have dog enemies, they're gonna have just regular enemies, like with, beastie looking guys in Bloodborne. You always know they're gonna have something like that, where it's just like a regular enemy that you can kill for points. Or souls, blood echoes, runes, stuff like that, you know. I don't like when it's just like, hey, same enemy, different skin. Change it up. That's why I like the Blood Drunk Hunters in the Bloodborne DLC. They're really cool. They're really interesting. I like their lore, where they're like insane, so they're stuck in the Hunter's Nightmare. Really cool lore. Give them something. Like, don't just be like, ah, yes, knight. Paint his armor black. Take him from gold, paint it black. I see a red door and I want it painted black. I don't like reskinning enemies or bosses. That's why I don't like Lawrence. He sucks anyway on his own, even if he wasn't based off Cleric Beast. I know that his lore is there. I know there's a lore reason for it, but he just sucks. I'm sorry. This isn't just a full-on me hating FromSoft thing. I'm a big fanboy. I've even got a Bloodborne poster. Got this. I bought Dark Souls. I bought Dark Souls 3. I bought Bloodborne, Elden Ring. I bought a bunch of stuff. I love FromSoft games. Disappointing ending. Yeah. The final boss, Radahn, Promised Consort Radahn. Me hating on him? Yeah, mid. Fight. First phase fight's fun. Hey, that alliteration. Second phase? I'd rather get curb stomped. But why did they fumble this bad? Like, you had such a good... Like, you had Peak, Rolana, Mesmer, Bale, and, like, Midra? Am I pronouncing that right? Midra? The Frenzied Flame guy? You had such Peak. And then it just went with so many just, like, mediocre bosses, and the final boss being mediocre. Like, it's like how this person whose playthrough I watched after I played mine, he said it was Bricky. I watched his streams. I think it was his streams. I might have watched his VODs. I don't remember. I watched him say, and he said, like, it's a lot like Radagon and Elden Beast. The second phase sucks. That's not his word for word what he said, but that's just my interpretation. Because Elden Beast sucks. As I said in my last video. In the comments. Because I forgot to add them. But, like, and the ending was kind of mid. It's just Miquella sitting next to a chair, not even on the chair, next to it, talking to Radahn, who doesn't appear. It's basically just a still frame of Miquella going, like, with his back turned, of course. So, like, that's the entire cutscene. It's just him saying, hey, Radahn, you want to marry me? Oh, that was zesty. That's it. They couldn't, like, show the actual thing of them talking. Like, they couldn't even show Radahn? Why? Why? I can't see why. I don't understand why they didn't just maybe have a better ending to it. Maybe. Like, what happened? I'm honestly curious, what happened? Also, FromSoft, can we please get less incest in the next game? Thank you. Alright, I've got a lot left. Well, not really. Yeah, I already said Radahn's second phase can... Yeah. Basically made Leda into Gideon Ofnir. You know how at the end of the main story, you see Gideon through the entire thing. You eventually learn that he's a terrible person, he slaughtered Albinorix. And then you find out, and then he turns on you, yeah. He turns on you at, like, the last few bosses of the game. And then he fights you saying that you are worthless. Go to the DLC. Leda. You see her, I'm pretty sure she's the one that sends you in the DLC. I haven't played the DLC in a little bit. I need to restart. I need to do it again. I should have done that before this video. Apologies. But you see her throughout most of the DLC. You're following this cause to figure out who Mikola was, and what he's doing, and why he's doing it. Also, forgot to say this joke. Moog beat the allegations! My dog sneezed. I don't know if that picked up on mic. But hey, unlike Chris Tyson and Dr. Disrespect, am I right? I don't know if that meme's gonna be dated or not by the time this goes up. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, Leda's just getting off near. And then my dog's making weird sounds. But yeah. Why? They basically just did the ending section of Elden Ring, where you fight Gideon Ofnir, Leda. You fight Radagon, Radahn first phase. Then you fight Elden Beast, Radahn and Mikola. They're doing what Borderlands 3 did with the main story and Bounty of Blood. I'll explain later because I have a video of that working up right now. Yeah. And as I said, the dungeons. I hate how they're just reusing the dungeons. There was no reason to make the maps required to go through dungeons. I think they should just let you explore, not through dungeons or like through caves or something. Let you go to the areas, like this one area where you just drop down into it. Like into that hole in the, oh, it's the, it's right there, it's right there, it's right there. I don't know. Put it here whenever we figure it out. But you just drop down into it. And that one area in the Ashen, I don't know what it's called. But it's another area you just drop down into, and you find some stuff through that. Why couldn't it have just been stuff like that? Where you just naturally find it through going through the thing. Like they did that perfectly with the main map. Like the main stories map. Where you just go through different areas, kind of linear, kind of explorative, my bad. Where you just go, and you find stuff. That's way more fun than having to go through this like whole, here's a big word, rigmarole of needing to find different stuff. Like needing to find like different caves just to get a map. And like maybe a boss. I'm just gonna be honest, they kind of fumbled with this DLC. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm a big FromSoft fanboy, but like they kind of fumbled. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's all I've got for dislikes. So let's go ahead and get on to my final rating. This is gonna make you angry. So I hate to say it, but I might not be the biggest fan of the DLC, and I'm very sorry. But it was fine. Honestly, I'd have to give it a 7.5. That might be me being generous, or me being afraid of putting me and my family in danger. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I played through the DLC. It was fine out of anything. Also, I'm really disappointed there's no trophies to hunt for. What's up with that? I know the Dark Souls DLC doesn't have any. Don't think so. I'm sorry if it does. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what happened? You had such a good game with Elden Ring. Then you come out with our DLC. And it's just not as good. That's why that's why I'm giving it that 7.5. That was just a joke that I made, but yeah, it gets a 7.5. Because, like, the problems with it, the, like, extreme difficulty, even though it has a lore reason, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't feel as fun. It doesn't feel as much fun as I had when I played through Elden Ring for my first time. And my second time. And my third time. But it doesn't feel as fun. I don't know what it is. I keep hitting my whiteboard. Very sorry if you can hear it from the camera. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know how to describe it. It just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like all we're gonna get. Like it just feels like there's something else. It just feels like there's something missing. Like I might have skipped over something when I was doing my playthrough, but I don't know. I'm really curious to know what you guys think. Please don't hurt me. This is just my honest opinion. I'm sorry if I got a little rambly at the end. I'm not sure how to convey what I'm thinking right now. But I'm kind of thinking just like, it was fun, but also, it wasn't great. It's kind of like how I think with Dark Souls 1. I think that's like the biggest comparison. Like, it's got some cool bosses. I will give it that, from what I've seen. Like, Dark Souls 1 has Artorias. I'm so sorry. It's got Artorias. It's got all those it's got all those other bosses that are really cool, that are highly regarded. But then it's got some stinkers. Like the Hippo in Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. And the first few bosses of Dark Souls 1. I'm so sorry. But yeah. Also, if you guys want a tier list of the DLC bosses, I can work on that. I'm down. I am the tier list guy. Not really. That's most of my uploads. But anyways, with that being said, please tell me what you guys think about in the comments below. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, maybe if you want to. Remember your challenge that I gave you guys. 5 likes on this video, Dark Souls video comes up. I'll play through the entire game. I'll start as soon as it gets to 5 likes. I promise you. But until then, catch you guys later. Doodaloo!